Heidi ho, my crafty friends. How are you today? This is Lori at the Ladybug Journals. I'm so glad you joined me today. So today, I've got things sticking to my fingers already. Today we're going to make my planner. And I know I'm already half through January and haven't made a planner, but I keep losing my sticky notes that I'm writing everything on. So I've decided to use this little red book. And I did a video where we took apart a few little old books that I have that I just couldn't save the covers on. And it's down in the playlist if you want to see that. And this is one of them. It's a book about a dog. And I don't think it was about Lassie, but it could have been. So if you want to see what this looked like. And then we covered it with some gesso because it's this bright, it was a bright red. And then we covered the front of the book with some gesso to kind of tone it down in the inside of the book. So I've already covered the front of the book because I needed it to dry with this fabric. And it's doing really well. So I'm able to move on to the inside now. And on the inside, we're going to go on and start turning in the covers here. And this is going to be the inside fabric. And I've decided I'm going to do this a little bit different because my my spine was a little wiggly when I put it in. I want this to be, now it's feeling a little bit better. Now I don't mind a little bit of a wiggly spine, and that's doing better. I decided to make this a little bit wider than what I normally do. So you'll see when I put this in. This is going to be in the center between these two pieces. This will go like this, and then this will be over it like that. So you'll see when we start putting this together. So I need to trim my corners first before I glue this down. And I never take enough off my corners, so we'll see how well I do this time. And if I don't take enough off, I'll take some more off. But I thought there's so many new subscribers to the channel. Just since December, I get these little analytic things from YouTube, and just since December we have 30 new subscribers. So Heidi ho, all you new subscribers. A little ladybug flutter to you, and welcome, welcome. I know I say that to you, but I wanted to give you a special welcome because I got an end of year review, and I didn't realize that there were so many new subscribers. So Heidi ho to all of you. And to all of you subscribers that have been with me from the beginning or have been with me longer than that, a great big Heidi ho and thank you to you. Okay, so we're going to go on and do these. Now, I do my sides first. So today I've just decided to use my tacky glue and an old, one of those old, you know, store cards where you gave it and they kept track of what you bought, and then they sent you a bazillion things in the mail. So I don't do that anymore. So I'm just putting glue down this side, and then I take my card, and at an angle I run it through the glue. And so you can see how old the book is. It's still coming apart in spots. And I make the glue really thin. And then I just bring my fabric over the top of it. And that way I don't get any bleed through on the glue. And whatever's left, I can just bring over to the other side. And I can do the same thing over here. And you can do that with whatever glue you're using. If it's Fabri-Tac, if it's tacky glue, if it's your art glitter glue, whatever glue you're using, if you smooth it out like this, it helps keep from the Now, I want to make sure that I get here on the edges. So I'm going to put a little bit more here on the edges. So I want to just put a little bit more here on the edge. And I want to do the same thing. If you smooth it out, then you don't tend to get that bleed through. Because you're not getting any bloops of glue. There we go. Now I'm going to bring this up, and I'm bringing it up, you know, kind of. I'm bringing it up taut, but I'm not bringing it up tight. Does that make sense? I never did quite understand the difference between taut and tight, but I think taut is it's not wiggly squiggly, and tight is it can't move. Okay, so there are my edges. And at this point, I don't have a top or a bottom. And I'm still not going to when I do this edge. Okay, let me make sure you can still see me. Okay, good. Okay, so I can already tell I haven't taken enough off of my corner, because if I fold that, I'm going to have a little bit of a dog ear. Now, what do I mean by a dog ear? What I mean is, see that little piece sticking out? I'm going to have a little bit sticking out. And I don't want that sticking out. So I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut just a smidgen off. And then I'm going to fold it in again. There we go. That's better. So I'm going to do the same over here. And I'm going to just go through and I'm just going to cut a little bit more. I always get confused on my angles. Let's see here. I'm going to deal with this one when I get to it, since I'm going to be going a different direction. Oops, I don't want it there. I want it up here. Now here, we're going across the spine. So I want to make sure when I get there, I'm not putting any glue in the spine. See, I didn't put any glue into the spine, but I ran it across the spine. Does that make sense? I ran it across, but I didn't put any inside of it. Because I'm going to be sewing into this, I don't really need to worry about putting any inside there yet. Okay, so I can get that edge. I'm going to try it this way because I didn't do a very good job the other time. So let's try it this way. Let's see if this works better. Let's see if this works any better. Oh, that's working a little bit better. Now let's try that again to get the other side. Now all I'm trying to do is get some glue across the edge of the book here so it doesn't peel away right in there. That's all I'm trying to do, is right across there. That's all I'm trying to do. Just across the edge of the book. Okay. And I'm going to pull that one down. And if I still do have a little bit of a dog ear, I can trim it off. It's not that big of a deal. Okay. And pull it taut. Okay, so I'm going to have a little one up here. So I'm just going to take my scissors. And I'm just going to nip it. And make sure it's glued down. And then I'm going to check this one. Nope, that one's okay. All right, so down here, I'm going to check this down here. So let's move our card. And let's fold this up before we do any cutting and see. That one's small enough. Let's check this side. And that one's small enough. I think I can just trim those and not hurt anything. So I think I'm just going to run some glue across here like that. Here, we'll do it this way maybe and see if that works. This old book, I'm telling you. The only reason I'm really worried about this book is the book itself is so old that it's coming apart a little bit. And I don't want it to do that. So I'm hoping the glue helps the actual book stay together. Now, if your book isn't an old book, then you're not going to have to worry about this. But this book is such an old book that I noticed when I was covering the front, when I touched the edges of it, it was kind of coming apart a little bit. So, you know, I'm going to be bouncing this book around since it's going to be my little planner. And you guys are going to help me plan what we're going to do, because I'm really enjoying you guys giving me some ideas and you guys helping me plan things. There we go. Because I enjoy doing things that you guys like to do. There we go. Because then I know you're having fun. Oh, that did work much better. So let's pull that in like that. Okay. Oh, that did work much better. Oh, let me wipe that off, or I'm going to have glue everywhere. Okay, let me wipe it off of my little card here, at least the really wet part. And we're going to put it up here to dry. Make sure it's off of there. Okay. Now, I'm closing this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my bone folder, and in the areas that it crosses the spine, I'm going to make sure that it goes down, because then I know it's not going to pinch. Okay, can you see what I mean? By doing that, the fabric is going into the spine. It's not gathering. Can you see that? Let me make sure you can see that. Can you see that right there? Now it's into the spine. It's not pinching. And my spine is more stable. Oh, that feels much better. Good. Okay, so let's make sure that this is good and snugly here. Great. Okay, so, oh, and I wanted to tell you, if you're an Android user, I found out yesterday, or I figured out over the weekend, and I meant to tell you, I know I record this way, so you get the longer view of my video. Turn your phone this way and allow the picture to go this way. And then up in your right-hand corner, there's that little wheel up there, and it says settings. Okay, there's a little wheel that says settings. Tap that little wheel and come down just a little bit, and there's a little button that says lock screen, and it will lock that screen so that you can watch the whole video this way. Okay, and then when you're done, tap the screen and it'll come up and say unlock screen, and you can go back to your regular long ways of your phone, and it doesn't interfere with anything except that one video. So if there's anybody else of the creators that you watch that record that way, you can turn your phone and lock that screen so you can watch them that way. I had to do that for one other creator, and I had forgotten about it, and I meant to tell you guys about it, and I completely forgot. So I wanted to tell you that. Okay, so now we're going to do the inside panels. So the inside panels, I cut bigger than needed. And of course they're wampadoodled. So we're just going to straighten them up as needed. Oh, I forgot to cut those little ears off, didn't I? And I didn't get any glue over here. So let's put some glue over here in the corner. And we'll cut those little ears off here in just a second. Let's get the little ears trimmed off right here. Those little ears trimmed off right there. Right there's one. And right here's the second one. Okay, so now the book is level. Okay, because I still don't have an up and a down, and I'm not going to again because this fabric has no definite direction. Okay, so I need to find my straightest side because it doesn't matter what's happening in the middle because this is going to cover it. But I want to see a little bit of my bees over here. And I know I need to trim the bottom. So let's see here. Let me get out my rotary cutter and we're going to trim this. Hold on just a second and we're going to do that. Okay, are we there? Good. I don't think I paused you. So you heard my drawers opening. That's okay. Alrighty, so let's move our plastic here. Now, let's see what we need here. Okay, now I'm going to use my little clips here to keep this where I want it. So it's not wiggling around until I can mark where I want trimmed. And I'm just going to mark it with my pencil where I want it trimmed. I'm going to put a little mark with my pencil. Okay, so I want it trimmed across here. And here. Okay, I think that'll take care of it. So let's see if we can, instead of using that, let's see if we can line it up with the ruler and use the scissors. I don't know if we can or not, but we're going to try. Okay, there's my pencil line. Ooh, that marked really well. Now we'll use these little clips after we get it glued down to hold down the edges. I think we are going to use our little rotary cutter. That'll keep it from wiggling around. And we're going to cut right on that line. Now, you don't need a rotary cutter to do this. You can use your scissors, but you guys know how bad I am at cutting and how bad my straight lines are. So I decided I've got it close at hand, so I am using it. So I'm going to start at the top. And then I can lift it up and go from there. Okay, you go there. And you go there. Okay. Oh, looky there. I actually did it right. Okay, so we're going to lift this up. Now, I'm not going to worry about the middle right now. I just want to get the inside done. Come on. And my glue is getting cold. It's cold here right now. Okay, let's get this spread out. And let's get this down. Okay, we're going to lift this up. Okay, so far so good on this. Now I'm going to turn this upside down because I don't want my glue to go any further than I want it to go. Because I can always come back and add a little bit more glue if I miss somewhere. And I'm liking this tacky glue on this. It spreads really easy. Here we go. Now, the only place I haven't done is here in the middle. And we will come back and glue in the middle. But I want to go on and get this other side done the same way. And then we'll glue over there. Oops. No, no, no. Okay, so there's our first center panel. So we're going to do this side the same way. We're going to do this side the same way. We're going to measure. Now, this side should be even with this side. Okay, so my top side should be even with that side. And the bottom, this bottom edge should be even. So I want, and you should see the same amount over on the edge on one side as the other. So whatever's in the middle, it doesn't matter. So to keep my insides where they're supposed to be, I clip them. Now, you don't even have to have any fabric in the middle at this point because you're going to cover it with something else. Okay, here. And again, I need to trim mine because it's really whompadoodled. And I'm not going to worry that it's whompadoodled up here because I've got to trim it on the inside, but I've got to get it. Okay, so it is really out of whack, isn't it? So let's get this lined up. All right, let's start on this side. This side seems to be the only one matching up here. Goodness sakes, I really had that fabric wampadoodled. Okay. Now, the reason that you want to make sure that this inside fabric is down, or you could be using paper. You don't have to use fabric. You can use paper if that's what you want to use when you make a journal. This is just basically a journal. It just has a different purpose than, you know, the journal that we just worked on. It just has a different purpose. This purpose is going to be your calendar, and it's going to be notes. Now I am going to decorate it a little bit. You know, don't get me wrong. It's going to have a few things in it. You didn't think I was not going to decorate my journal, did you? Especially if there's something that I want to do and I need to work it out and remind myself what it is I want to do. Okay, so there's that piece. So let's put these down to hold this here since it's wet glue. Okay. Now, I don't want to go up too far because I need to trim this. And oh darn, I shouldn't have glued this, should I? Oh, poo. Pootsy poo, because it's not cut straight. Well now, because I need to trim this. Urgh. Lori, your brain does not function well, child. Your brain does not function well. So we're going to put this here. Where's the other ruler? And we're going to put this ruler on top of it. And we're probably going to do something I should not be doing. Folks, do not try this at home. This is not a good thing. This is being done by someone who is not paying attention. All right. Good gravy. Say good gravy, Martha. Okay. Now, let's get this down. Now, let's clamp this down just for a couple minutes and let's just see how this is holding. Especially on my edges. Make sure I got enough glue on it. Okay, in my center area, right here. Good gracious. All right, let me sit down here. This cold has got my rod in my back hollering at me the last couple days, you guys. Okay. Not a good thing to get old. That's all I can tell you. All right, let's take... Whoops, the doodles. There it goes, right onto the floor. All right, let's check this side and see how it's doing. Okay, remember, we still don't have a front and a back, or a top and a bottom. Okay, so we need a little bit of glue over here. We need a little bit on this edge. There we go. Where'd that white go? Okay, so in the middle here, in here, we can either keep these little flaps. Okay, so we need some glue right here on this edge. Just like this. There we go. So we can keep these and cut them off at the edge like this. Just like that. Because our plaid's going to cover it. Like that. Or we can keep them and sew through them. Totally up to you. Depends on what your spine's made of. If you were making like a box journal and your box journal was a little flimsy, you know, say you didn't really have a lot of support for it, and you know, and you needed that extra support, I would leave those. But mine is a book, and mine is feeling... Let's see. Mine's feeling good. Yeah, mine's feeling pretty good. So I'm thinking once I get my my signatures in, it's going to be okay. So I'm thinking I'm going to glue them down, and just like they are, I'm going to glue them down. And when I glue them down, I have to put that fabric into my spine. So I'm not going to do anything else with them. I'm not going to glue this. I'm not going to glue this seam because this is going to go over it. So, let's see. How are we going to do this maybe? I think I'm just going to glue this. Just put a little seam of glue right down the middle of this. Not a lot. I'm just going to go like this because I got to be able to sew through this. And I don't want a lot of glue gumming up everything. So that's all I'm going to do because I just want to hold the fabric together. So that's all I'm going to do. And that'll hold the fabric together and keep it from flipping and flopping around. Okay, so now I'm going to put this here. Just like this. And you're going to see my head for a second. I'm sorry. So I want this to line up with the top. And I need to make it straight. Well, as straight as I can make it. And if you want this to be up higher, like I think I want to add like a little piece of lace. So I need to come up here to my little lace pieces. Like this one. Like this little piece of lace. It's just a little small piece. And I'm going to turn it so these stick up at the top. Because I don't think I have. I found a bigger spot for our Bibbly Bops. So this is our little Bibbly Bop drawer. So, oh, you're not supposed to be in there. Why are you in there? You're supposed to be in there. That's what happens when you clean everything up. I can't wait to show you all everything I cleaned up yesterday. Ooh, that might work. But I don't think I have another piece of it. Let's see if I have another piece in the big drawer. And I put all the bigger pieces of lace that we had in this drawer so I wouldn't lose them. You know, because I kept losing them. I don't have any in there either of that color. So maybe maybe what we'll do, what about in this drawer? Do we have a piece in here? And this is just small pieces of fibers. You know, that's all this is. Whoop, you're not supposed to be in there. You're supposed to be up there. So let's see if this is big enough to go across our spine. I don't think it is. Oh, it is. See how it sticks up like that? That's what I want. Okay. So I'm going to glue this down here. So I need to get this. I want this to stick up a little bit more. So I want to get this right where I want it. And I want this in the middle. I want this in the middle of the spine. So I'm marking this, just marking the spine a little bit with my fingernail. So I can see where it is because I want that right there. And I want that on top of it. See how it's going? Kind of like a crown. And I need to make sure that this is centered. But I also need to make sure that it comes down. Like that. Okay, and I'm going to start gluing here across the bottom. I'm going to glue across the bottom. I'm going to glue across the bottom. And then I'm just going to glue on the sides. Okay. I don't need to glue down the middle because we're going to sew it down the middle. So there's no need gluing in the middle because we're going to sew it. So there's no need messing with that. But I do want to hold that in place. Okay. Now this, right there's our spine. I want to glue that right there. I want to put some glue on it. Just like that. And I want to put that right there. Right across the middle. And now this is going to come up and it's going to be right there. And then I'll glue across the top. But for now, I'll show you what I'm doing. I'm just taking my glue. Let me wipe my finger off here now. Okay, I'm just taking glue down the sides. Right here's my spine where my fingers are. That's the spine. I'm just taking glue down the sides. Okay. And I'm going to take glue down the sides over here. Okay, now I'm going to lay this down and then we'll see if we need any other glue on the sides. I'm sure we will because I didn't put very much. Okay, so I've glued down the side. This is the top where my finger is. This is the top. See the little crown? Now, let's see what other glue we need. Okay, that one's good. This one needs a little bit. This is now my left. I mean, my right. I can't tell right from left at this point. Okay, so let's put a little more glue down his side. lay that down. Okay, that's good. And then we're going to go across the top. And I want to make sure to catch our little crown. And make sure any fabric that I didn't get, I'm getting. And spread this out good. Okay. Now, I'm going to fold this up and you're going to see how it puckers. See how it puckers right there? So, to get that not to pucker, you're going to take your bone folder and in your seam, you're going to rub this into your seams. Now, it is going to pucker a little bit because we haven't sewed any signatures in. And that's okay. Don't worry about it. Take your bone folder and go over everything. We can take our little clamps off. Make sure all your fabric's glued down. If you want to decorate your cover more, you can. And I do, but right now, I'm not going to do it right this minute. Now, here's my scissors. I want to get these strings off. I want to get all my little strings off here. I want to let everything dry before I sew in my signatures because our next video, I want to show you how I get my signatures together and we're going to get them sewn in. Okay. So I want to let everything dry. There we go. So here's the cover so far. Get the glue covered up here. Now, on my cover here, because it's just going to be a planner, it's not set to be, anything, anything fancy or anything like that. I can do whatever I choose on it. I can make it a button closure. I can make it whatever I want because this is for me. And I'm going to use it probably every single day when I'm planning things, or at least twice a week as I'm planning out videos. Let's see, we need to put that up there. It's got wet glue on it. Is we're planning out different things. So let's see how long this video is before we go further. Oh goodness, yep, we are done for the day. So our next video, we're going to talk about planning out signatures. And I'm going to show you guys how I put them in for something like this, where this isn't glued down. And we're going to go from there and how I decorated my cover. So I want to thank you guys for joining me today. And I hope this was helpful. And I hope that you guys enjoyed the process. And I hope that you guys enjoyed the fun that we had, and you learned something. If you're new to journaling, I hope that you've learned. Whoops, sorry, I was putting my glue away. I hope that you learned how to add fabric to a cover. And if you have any questions on that, please feel free to message me. I'll be glad to help you with that or answer any questions that you have. And I hope you join me again on our next video when we add the signatures. I've got mine together. Here they are. They're all together. And this is what it's going to look like. Of course, I'm going to show you how I trim them down. And all the little goodies that are going to go in it. So, until I see you again in the next video, when we start having some fun, getting our planner together, till I see you again, don't forget, you can give me a thumbs up, and you can comment, and you can share this video for any of your friends that would like to make a journal from an old book. Till I see you then, Ta-ta for now.